Every time we were together, it happened. There was no night that went by that I was with him that he didn't sexually abuse me.
Oh, the lies! How do you do it, man? The game is up!
Okay, I know this video is coming out pretty late, but, you know, better late than never, so. So today's video is going to be a lot different from my ordinary videos. So, but after doing a lot of research and seeing what's happening on the news about this junk, I felt like my voice should be heard too. So if you guys are curious about what I'm talking about, there is this new documentary that recently dropped on HBO. It's called Leaving Neverland, and it talks about Michael Jackson and the way he acted around these two boys, Wade Robson and James Safechuck. I don't know the whole story about James Safechuck, but I can tell you a lot that a lot that I know about Wade Robson. And doing a lot of research, I'm convinced that Wade Robson is a true liar. Because at one point I heard like Wade Robson say in front of the camera, like, hey, it's not even about Michael Jackson anymore, it's just much bigger. Then why the fuck is the whole documentary 4 hours long and all you ever talk about is how you were sexually molested by him? Man, you guys really thought this through. A 4-hour documentary? I am shocked. There's no doubt that it's just repetitive and you just repeat yourselves a lot. I personally haven't seen the film myself because I don't want to, because I've done the research and I'm not gonna watch it. I know it's on HBO right now and I'm not gonna watch it because I know the truth and I want you guys to know the truth too. For those of you who saw the documentary, bear with me on this because a lot of people have already stopped listening to Michael Jackson's music, but not me. And I'm going to show you guys that Michael Jackson was, and always will be 100% innocent. Now let's just get right into it. And I can show you evidence that Wade Robson is a liar. Now, like I said, I don't know too much about James Safechuck. All I know is that he was in a Pepsi commercial with Jackson in like 1988, I'm pretty sure. So you're going to have to look up some other video about James Safechuck. But on this Wade Robson story, though, you'll get the general idea. So let's just get right into this. He goes into very graphic detail, and frankly, it made a lot of people sick. And I wouldn't blame them, because not a lot of people can really handle the kind of details. I mean, I've heard graphic details on Law & Order Special Victims Unit before, and I mean, I'm not traumatized or scarred for life by it, but you scarred more people than you have ever thought. You're literally going that far to destroy a person's legacy. And the thing is, Michael is not here to defend himself. So you can't really question both sides. There's only one side that you can question, and the other isn't here to defend himself. There's just so much more I want to say. I want to say that this film is not just a cash grab, which it is, but it's also a distraction from the Harvey Weinstein case that's going on. Because Harvey Weinstein's the real monster. We've all done our research on Harvey Weinstein. He's sexually harassed multiple women, and they just created this documentary just to get the public off his ass. Not only that, but Wade Robson, his career is going nowhere, so he needed money. He didn't know how to make money, so he just said, hey, I was molested by the king of pop. And everyone joins in on it. Now there's some major gaps that I want to fill. First of all, people are going to say, well, like, Michael Jackson's sister, LaToya Jackson, came out in like 1993, maybe later, that she says that he molested the little boys. But on an interview, like years later, way down the road, earlier 2000s, she went on like 2020 and said this. Now, bear with me, you're gonna hear a slight ringing in your ears. It's part of the video. I don't know what was wrong with the video, but just bear with me because this is what she said.
Gordon gave me this piece of paper and he says, read this. He goes, you better say this, you say this.
Jack Gordon forced you to say that your brother was a pedophile. Did you think he was?
No, I did not. The courts have proven that too as well.
Now for those of you who do not know who the person they mentioned, Jack Gordon, he was LaToya's husband, and he mentally abused her and physically abused her. And she was just his puppet, so he forced her to tell the public that your brother is a pedophile.
He would close the closet door and say, don't leave that closet. Do you know I would stay in the closet for 8 hours and not leave? Because that's how well trained I was. That's how much fear he had instilled in me.
And then he beat her regularly. He forced her to pose for Playboy and appear in several pornographic videos.
So, and that's what's going on right now. Now let's get into the second part. This part's my favorite. There are 2 or more celebrities saying, Corey Feldman and Macaulay Culkin, one of the best child actors ever. Corey Feldman has had his experience with molestation, which is sad, and he says that he was molested, and he went to the police, gave them all the names and information, but they were scanning Michael Jackson, and he says that's not the guy.
In fact, if anybody wants to go back to 1993, when I was interviewed by the Santa Barbara Police Department, I sat there and I gave them the names. They're on record. They have all of this information, but they were scanning Michael Jackson. All they cared about was trying to find something on Michael Jackson.
Who you said, by the way, did not abuse you.
Who Michael was innocent, and that was what the interview was about with the police in 1993. I told them he is not that guy.
It's almost easy to try to say, oh, it was like weird or whatever, but it wasn't. It's like one of my friendships that people question only because of the fact that he was the most famous person in the world. He was the kind of person who'd like, yeah, been through the exact same freaking thing and wanted to make sure that like I wasn't alone. For me, it's so normal and mundane. Like, you know, I know it's a big deal to everyone else, but like for me, it's like, yeah, it was a normal, like, you know, it was a normal friendship.
Michael was a gentleman, and he was respectful to every child that I saw him with and to me myself. So there was a group of kids, and we all formed a bond. We were all friends with Michael, and I asked each one of those kids about their experiences, and every one of them told me the same thing that I experienced. All we know for a fact is that Jordan Chandler, who was the first kid that accused him, came out after his dad died and wrote an open letter and said that those stories were fake. He said it himself in his own words in an open letter. So we know that. We know that the second trial was negated and was proven to be false. He had 10 counts against him, and he was proven innocent on all 10 counts. So why are we even still talking about this? The man's dead. Every time it came up, it was resolved.
And if we're going to talk about this 1993 case and why Michael Jackson paid it off, I was a little bit skeptical about that because, like, why pay it off? Why not just go in there and just, you know, stop it right now and just say, hey, like, I can prove my innocence. Well, Michael listened to his group of lawyers and said, this could go on for quite a while. If you want this to be over right now, you could pay it off. Never a good thing to do, to listen to your lawyers when they say something stupid like that. Say the best way out of this is to pay it off and keep people quiet. So that was a mistake, listening to his lawyers in the first place. But secondly, And this is what really got me. Jordan Chandler's father, Evan Chandler, I think he's the real father, and he's talking on the phone with, I think is his stepfather, or maybe someone, I don't know, but he's on the phone with someone, right? And he says, this
man is going to be humiliated beyond belief. He will not believe it. He will not believe what's going to happen to him. Beyond his worst nightmares, sell one more record. If I go through with this, I win big time. I will get everything I want. They will be destroyed forever.
So there's some pretty hard evidence that should have been brought into court, which unfortunately didn't happen. And if you guys want to hear about the 2005 case, I'm actually surprised that went on for 5 freaking months. 5 damn months. Like, Jesus Christ, I don't even know. And this was a child that Michael helped cure of cancer. But there's just a lot to say. I don't even know where to start. I'm going to show you guys a clip of Mark Lester. He was Michael Jackson's like closest friend ever, and he can describe what they did, like what the Arvizo family did at the Neverland Ranch, and it's unbelievable.
They treated Neverland, and they abominably. I mean, they stole. We had a wine cellar that he had locked away, so they were breaking in and stealing booze, and they had golf carts that went around the property, and they would race these things, and they would roll them over down hills and things. It was just like, you know, just have some respect.
And I noticed when he said that they broke into like the wine cellar and stole booze, Gavin's mother, she pressed charges against Michael for giving her son alcohol, when in reality they broke into the wine cellar. So now that I've got you guys kind of caught up on everything, I'm sorry if that was quite a while, but it's just to get you just in the hang of things. And if you guys want to know the backstory of why Wade Robson did this, I'll let History in the Mix here explain it to you.
Wade Robson is a failed choreographer that knew Michael Jackson as a boy. In the first child molestation trial in '93, he defended Michael Jackson under oath, saying nothing happened. Life goes on, Michael dies, Robson attends the funeral, and even asks the family themselves for tickets, and then applies for a job as a choreographer for the Michael Jackson 1 show in Las Vegas. They say no, then Wade files a lawsuit saying that he was molested by Michael Jackson.
So that pretty much sums it up. Because he didn't get the job in the Michael Jackson 1 show in Las Vegas, he just went out like a baby and just said, Michael Jackson molested me, and he only sued, and the only people that he could sue was his estate. However, the case was thrown out of court, and what was said right there was the same thing that Michael Jackson's niece had come out and said on, I'm pretty sure it was a podcast or something.
What I've been hearing is that everything was cool until there was some Vegas show.
Right.
There was a Vegas show where the family told him that they wanted him to choreograph this.
Right.
But then they ended up getting somebody else.
Yes.
And then he flipped. Then all of a sudden, hey, I was touched. Then he flipped. That's how?
That's exactly what happened.
Wow.
He started writing a book. That hasn't seen the light of day yet, but that's when all this stuff started.
Wow.
He has a hard time holding relationships with people due to the bad blood that he's got in the industry.
Wow.
So I don't know, was it business, was it personal? I have no idea. I just know that it didn't come from the family. We're not the ones that had him pulled off of that show.
Okay.
He felt entitled to do it because he's got this long relationship with my uncle as far as working with him and dancing with him. He was mentored by him. So he felt like he should be the one. And when that was pulled from his feet, he was pissed.
Now let's talk about the documentary itself. In the documentary, 2 men just sit down for 4 hours and go into very deep graphic details that they were molested by Michael Jackson in the 1980s, I'm pretty sure. However, in 2013, when he went on the news, he said that he was molested by Michael Jackson. He said that he was molested. But the way he's describing it is not molestation. It is sexual assault.
It started with him fondling, then it would, then it moved into kissing me on the lips like a French kiss sort of thing, and then it moved to oral sex.
Jesus, History in the Mix is right. The amount of pausing that he does just to think of what he's gonna say next.
One of the biggest reasons I can't trust what he says is the pauses. He pauses so much.
And the thing is, the accusation started off very small. He only said he was molested, and that's it. Later on throughout the years, come like present day, he says he was sexually assaulted. Being sexually molested and sexually assaulted are two different things. And I want to talk about some of the lies that Wade Robson described. One of them being, it's not about the money. This documentary is not just about the money. That's a fucking lie, because we see you're doing nothing now, and the only thing that you have in mind is this documentary. Secondly, he said Michael Jackson taught him to not like women. But this is where it gets freaking amazing, and I love this. If that were true, then why did Michael Jackson's niece come out and say differently?
He, developed a little crush on me and had been talking to my Uncle Michael about it and wanted to get to know me further. So my uncle, being an uncle, set us up. He invited us both to the ranch. We spent about a week together. His family and my family. My brother was there, his mom and his sister. Everybody was there. We got to know each other, and towards the end of the trip, he very sweetly said, "Would you be my girlfriend?" And so that was, an innocent young relationship that started. We were friends for a long time, which turned into a relationship. I knew him for at least 10 years.
Ooh! Burn! Hard evidence from Michael's niece. Not only that, but Wade Robson cheated on her with Britney Spears!
Not only is he cheating on you with her, he's cheating on you with this one who's married.
God damn.
The list goes on, and I wish that I could say some of these names because you are familiar with these people.
Wow.
But I can't tell who they are. I was done. I wasn't gonna sit up here and try to get the truth from him any longer. I knew that he was a liar at this point, and I confronted him about it. I told him that I knew that these things were true and that I could no longer put up with it, and I was done.
Another lie that he said, or at least I read it in an article on Google. I'm not sure if he said it himself, but the Google news thing said that he said that the sex was a safe zone.
First off, no. No, it's not.
There's these love letters that he sent. Well, Taj Jackson actually said something about that.
My uncle gave letters like that all the time to people that he cared about. And there's nothing salacious about it when you actually know there's a lot of people. He even did it to fans.
And that is just about as much as I know. That is literally all I know for now. That is literally all I got for this episode. So, how I want to end this video is kind of sad, but lighthearted at the very end. So, as you guys know, Leaving Neverland is a 4-hour documentary, aired on HBO, and the Michael Jackson fan community tried to stop it. We obviously failed. I mean, I'm not in the Michael Jackson fan community, but I kind of wish I were, because, come on. Seriously, I'm a diehard Michael Jackson fan, like everybody else. But, unfortunately, for some people, they obviously have not done the research, because, and this really breaks my heart to say, but people are actually believing this documentary. People are actually turning their back on Michael, and they've gone as far as to never listening to his music again. They say that it is disturbing to listen to after seeing the documentary. And not only that, but this what I'm about to say right now just is gonna, it just breaks my heart. From what I've read, I really hope that this isn't true, but from what I've read on Google News, radio stations in New Zealand and Canada, they've stopped playing his music altogether. They've dropped Michael Jackson's music off the radio stations. And from what I've heard, that they're dropping his music across the globe. And I really hope that that's not true. I mean, I do have, like, a vinyl collection, like a picture disc collection. But, come on, guys. This can't happen. My dad and I actually had a little bit of an argument about this documentary. He's not saying that he believes them because he hasn't seen it. I told him that they're liars. I've showed him some evidence. I've showed him that his niece came out and say he's a well-known liar. And he's like, well, okay. He honestly thinks that Michael Jackson molested children. And what really got me is that he said that he told me, he looked at me just dead in the eyes and said, be careful who you choose as a hero, as a role model, because Michael was anything but a hero. And that really sunk my heart, guys, because I really do think he's misinformed about this. I really think that if he were to just sit down and talk to Michael Jackson's lawyer, Tom Mesereau, about this, he'd really change his mind. But whatever. Don't put anything down in the comments about my dad. I mean, people have their opinions. But me, honestly, my true feelings about Michael Jackson, he changed me. He changed the way I feel, the way I act. It was around 2016 I started listening to him. Like, I just got into him with Thriller, and then I discovered more of his music, and then I went into his life, which, you know, should be private. His life should have been private, but unfortunately the media just stalked and slandered him. This was a man that did so much for the world, and this is how we thank him. Honestly, it's ridiculous. And there is a court case going on right now. The Michael Jackson estate is suing HBO. There's a little bit of good news, but unfortunately, they would win straight away if the family could sue him. If the Jackson family could sue Wade Robson and James Safechuck, the case would just immediately be won by the Jackson family. But, oh yeah, and the impact that it's had on his family is honestly it's just terrible, you know. I mean, it was just about like hours ago that I heard on the news that Paris Jackson is taking this like very, very hard. She got a lot of hate on social media from the people who saw the documentary, and honestly, that's ridiculous. It's uncalled for. Like, Paris Jackson didn't do this shit to you. So, and what's really getting me is that they're still calling him Jacko, and that's the one thing he didn't want to be called. He liked to be called Applehead, like kids that he had around him, like his cousins and everything, they called him Applehead. He didn't mind that, but Jacko, honestly, that it really hurt him.
I'm not a Jacko. I'm Jackson. I have a heart and I have feelings. I feel that when you do that to me. It's not nice. Don't do it. I'm not a wacko.
That hurt him there because it was a tabloid called Wacko Jacko. That really hurts him. And like, God, his family's really taking this hard. I can't imagine how his kids are feeling. Blanket's not talking at all. And I honestly don't know what Prince Michael I, I think, is doing. I don't know what he's doing right now, but he has said that he has very little faith in the news, because he knows that the news isn't gonna back the family up. He's not the news isn't gonna defend him in this, because, I mean, let's face it, the paparazzi hounded him when he was alive, and now that he's dead, they're still doing it. But a little bit more good news, the YouTuber Shane Dawson, who I frickin' love, he's frickin' hilarious, he defended Paris Jackson and like sent her a lot of support and love, and a lot of people followed up with that and that and that, and I want to as well. Like, his family does not deserve this hate. Michael doesn't deserve this hate. It's honestly sad to see the world that Michael tried to heal turned against him. They're calling him just a... You guys get it. It doesn't make any sense of why you would pass your hatred for Michael Jackson onto his kids. You're honestly the worst if you do that. His kids did nothing to you, so why even send them hate in the first place?
It's hurting my heart. Why pass it on to him?
So yeah, guys, I hope I shared a lot of information on this video here. I really hope that I changed you guys' minds. I really hope you stick with me in supporting Michael Jackson and his family and his kids. The reason why I'm doing this video is not because of views or because of likes, but it's because of somebody I love and somebody who I admire. He just needs my help, and I want to help in any way I can possibly. So yeah, that's why I'm doing this video. Somebody I love needs our help, and if we really want to support him, all I can say is don't watch the documentary. It's full of lies. The evidence is right here in front of you guys. It's like an obvious answer on a test. It's staring at you blank, dead eye in the face, and you're ignoring it. But here it is, and I really hope this sheds some light on this situation, and just don't turn your back on somebody who tried to help the world. Another piece of bad news, one of the YouTubers, River Gibbs, I found out like this morning, I'm pretty sure, he recently deleted his YouTube channel, and on his YouTube channel it's just a bunch of Michael Jackson makeup, DIYs, just, you know, just diehard Michael Jackson fans would want to see. But the one mistake he did, he saw the documentary, and he believed it. And it wasn't until this morning I found out, and I didn't know what was going on. I'm like, where's River Gibbs at? And I saw like this video titled, for those of you who are wondering what happened to River Gibbs, ... I clicked on the video, and I was very nervous. I was scared because I thought like somebody would say that like he committed suicide because of the way that it sounded. It sounded like the video was just nothing but just a black background with a very depressed voice over it, like he lost somebody close to him. I was worried that he was going to say that River Gibbs committed suicide, but that's not the case. He deleted his YouTube channel because of the documentary, and I can only imagine what he's doing right now. He's probably having a mental breakdown and throwing away all his Michael Jackson merchandise. All the pictures, all the vinyls, the costumes, the makeup, the wigs, everything. And I knew that that's what this documentary was trying to do. We all knew like it wasn't gonna do any good even if it were true, which it's not, because it's not like we're gonna dig his grave up and put him in jail. The man's dead. I knew there was something a bit further than that. I knew, like, I just immediately put it together, like, well, I know we can't do that, but the one thing that they could do is turn people against Michael Jackson. And that's exactly what they did. I knew this would happen. People actually believe this, and they've thrown it all away. The only person who has actually seen the documentary and actually has the balls and the guts to stay on YouTube is History in the Mix. And I applaud him for that. I'm not gonna see the documentary because I know they're both liars. Wade Robson and Jimmy Safechuck. Like I said in the beginning of this video, I don't know who James Safechuck is. All I know is that he started in a Pepsi commercial and just this shit happened. But I really hope that this video can actually change everybody's mind. Go back to Michael Jackson. Just do whatever it takes. And if there are any other MJ fans that have supported these people, comment down below and let me know I'm not alone in this, because honestly I'm a little nervous about this video, so I'd really appreciate that. So yeah guys, that'll be it for this video. I know I've skipped over of some other facts, like Oprah supporting this, and like she's interviewed Michael in the past, and there's like a quote that she said, like, after this interview was over, like, I thought I could be his friend and blah blah blah. But no, she's actually going ahead and supporting this fucking documentary, and like she's like the major backstabber. And another thing that's going on is like there's this trend, like hashtag mute Michael Jackson or some bullshit like that. Don't go along with that trend. It is a bullshit trend. And I don't know who the fuck just created it, but you're a fucking asshole. And, you know, people are like trying to get Oprah canceled because like she just kind of betrayed Michael. And the thing is, when I said that this was a distraction from the Harvey Weinstein thing going on, Oprah was actually friends with Harvey Weinstein, the real sexual predator. But yeah guys, there are multiple videos up there on YouTube now defending Michael Jackson. They have more evidence, better evidence, more videos than I do. And but you know, I work with what I got. So I really wish the Jacksons the best of luck, and I just really wish that this wouldn't have happened, and just let the man rest.
Michael Jackson.
And Michael's innocent.
Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson was
Michael Jackson that I knew.
Michael Jackson.
See it on the TV screen, don't make it back.